Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a review on this DeLonghi Nespresso Vertuo Latissimo coffee, cappuccino, and latte maker. So here I made a latte. I'm going to show you how to make a latte, cappuccino, and a coffee. Now the first thing is this has a milk frother built in. So it simply just attaches right here. There is a little door that you have to move down. There's the milk frother. You're going to press this button and we're going to go fill this up with milk. Now you can use almond milk, 2% milk. When you got this filled up with milk, you're simply going to snap it on this area right here. It just hangs right there. Now this coffee maker has two sides. We got like a steam side for the milk side, and we got a coffee maker side. Even though it is one unit, there is two units inside it. Around back there is a water tank. Now you'll see there's two inputs. There's a water tank input for the coffee maker and for the steam. Now we do have to manually open this up. This is where the pods are going to go. Depending on what pod you put in there, it's going to read that barcode and brew. You're going to close it, you're going to press the button, but we also got a latte and a cappuccino button. And we can also just make some foam or some hot milk. And then when we're done, we can do a rinse. I'm going to show you how to do a rinse. We can take this apart and clean it. We got a couple lights on up here. One is to let us know that the unit needs rinsed. The steam one needs rinsed, and there's a D-scale light. Now let's talk about the type of pods it's going to use. These are the Vertuo machines. It's got like a round bottom, a barcode. It's going to spin it, and that's how it's going to brew the coffee. Now these tell us how much it's going to brew. The machine will brew 7.7 ounces. It's like an 8-ounce coffee through here. They do have some that are smaller. This is like a single shot. This is 1.35 ounces through this. And again, the machine is going to determine, all you do is press the brew button when you want to make a coffee or an espresso. It spins this and knows exactly how much water to brew through it. Now this will do 6 sizes. It'll do a single shot, a double shot, that's for espresso. It'll do 4 coffees, a 5 ounce, an 8 ounce, a 12 ounce, or an 18 ounce. Again, that's all determined by the pod you buy. So whatever pod you buy, it'll say what it's going to brew. Now when we're doing lattes and cappuccinos, they do give us this chart of when you use like a big pod, it's only going to run 2.7 ounces. So normally if I do a coffee, there's the big pod. This is an 8-ounce coffee pod. If I put this in there and hit latte or cappuccino, it's only going to run 2.7 ounces through there. Kind of like a double. Well, it's a little bit more than a double shot. But typically I use espresso pods. When I'm doing a cappuccino or latte, I like to use a single shot. And you'll see whenever we do a cappuccino or latte, it's going to spin the pod first. Then it's going to do the milk if you do a latte. If you do a cappuccino, it's going to do just the opposite. It's going to brew the espresso shot, then the milk. Again, very easy to operate. Sometimes you do have to kind of push this up. Get the pod. You're simply going to put the pod, it just sits right there. There's a needle that's going to poke the top and the sides. When I push this down, there's what's going to happen to it. The coffee stays inside here, but it runs hot water through there and spins this, and the coffee comes out around the outside. It doesn't do anything to the bottom. Okay, now in one motion, you got to push it down and rotate this lever over to the lock position. Now, if you don't want the milk side, just press this button. But if you want a cappuccino or a latte, and I'm going to do a latte, I'm going to do it, yeah, I'm going to do a latte. This button right here, the second one. I press this button right here for the latte. It's going to do the milk first. Make sure this button is in the milk position. Did you hear it spin the pod? So it wants to know what is in there as far as coffee. Now it's going to determine the milk size to brew. And it gets really quiet. It makes you think it's not doing anything, but it's heating up the water so that it can make steam. So again, latte, milk first, then the coffee. Cappuccino, just the opposite. And this machine is really smart. It knows all of this itself. Now that milk coming out is really hot. About 142, 140. There, it didn't do a whole lot because it knows it has a single shot espresso pod in. Now here comes the single shot. And again, this is all automatic. All I did was hit that button and it does everything automatically. It'll start and stop. Okay, that doesn't take very long at all. Again, here's our latte with a single shot espresso. We've got the hot milk, the foam, and the espresso shot. So I like to add just a little bit of French vanilla, about 3 pumps. I do stir that in. Okay, let's give that a taste. That's a very nice hot drink that tastes really good. So whenever we're done, we'll notice that this light is on steady. That means it's just telling you you need to rinse. All you have to do, if we were going to make more drinks, I don't have to rinse it between drinks. But if I'm done for the night, I just simply turn this to the rinse spot. It starts the rinse automatically. And it's just going to run some hot water and steam through there to clean that nozzle. And then here's the nice thing, so it doesn't run a whole lot through. Now you can grab this, take it off. We can put this whole thing in the refrigerator because you want to keep your milk nice and cold. Put this in the refrigerator. The next day, all you got to do is simply take it out of the refrigerator and stick it on there. That's what's so nice. Remember to move this button to the milk position. So here's the best part. When we open this up, it ejects the pod automatically. The pod goes back here. There's a little storage area. Once in a while, you do have to empty out these pods. Okay, now let's do a cappuccino. I'm gonna use an espresso pod. You could use a coffee pod. Close it. I have to hit this button over here if I want the milk. I got this in the milk position. I'm gonna hit the cappuccino button. That's the cappuccino, and it kind of shows you coffee first, then milk. This one shows you milk first, then coffee. So it starts brewing the espresso shot right away. And again, you can hear it spinning that pod. All right, again, that's 1.35 ounces. I could have used a coffee pod. You know, if I put one of these big coffee pods in there, it's gonna run about 3 ounces through it. And now again, it kind of sounds like it's not working, but it's heating up the water back here so it can make steam for the milk frother. It doesn't take long. And we can turn this to direct it, make sure it goes right where it needs to. Okay, it's all done. It's very, very quick. Again, you can add whatever kind of flavors you'd like. I added a little bit of French vanilla. Okay, I gave that a quick stir. Let's give it a drink. Wow, that's a really nice hot cappuccino. Now let's just make a coffee. Again, I've got a coffee pod here. Let's open this up. It ejects it. Put this in, one motion. Now I'm gonna press this button. I don't wanna use the milk side, so I press that button and it's gonna run it according to what the pod says. So it's gonna start brewing the coffee. You can hear it spinning the pod. It's gonna get a full 8 ounces now. It takes about 1 minute and 20 seconds to make a full 8-ounce cup of coffee. Again, that is really hot coming out. 170, you end up with about a 165 degree cup of coffee. Okay, the cup of coffee is all done, really hot. I can't drink it straight black like that. If I had a little bit of cream and sugar, it does taste pretty good. Now let's just press, I got this back to milk. Let's just press the milk button. That light is flashing. So let's say if I had a bigger glass and I wanted to add a little bit of hot milk to that coffee, I could do that. Again, it's gonna make it kind of like hot milk and foam at the same time. Now I can stop that at any time just by pressing that button again. That will stop it. Okay, let me start off by saying this is a really expensive coffee maker. This is $500. I bought one used off of Amazon. It was still $475. I'm gonna do a comparison. So this milk froth, I think the machine works very well. It's very well thought out. It's a little confusing with the pods. You know, when you put a coffee pod in and you hit a cappuccino or latte, it doesn't do the whole coffee amount. It does a smaller amount. But, you know, I could not get, you know, I've been trying to understand this. And I'm not coming up with the numbers that they say. But I do kind of get when you do the large, it does 2.7 ounces when you do like a coffee pot in there, when you do a latte or cappuccino. Now I do think that it makes the coffee very well. It froths the milk very well. I love the convenience. It seems very well made. Like this seems very nice quality. It is meant to just kind of do everything for you, but these pods can get really confusing after a while. You know, they got several different varieties. I really don't understand a lot of the different flavors. You know, I've done the espressos taste pretty good. You know, and this thing will do up to an 18-ounce coffee. I've not found those pods yet. I've not found a pod that does 18 ounces yet. But I have seen some Starbucks pods. They have espresso pods. You can see it runs 1.35 fluid ounces. It's the Vertuo line, the round ones. I've seen coffee ones too that do 8 ounces. So these are nice flavors. Sometimes these flavors are a little, you know, kind of hard to figure out what they're actually going to taste like. Let's go over measurements. So right there with that drip tray is about 6 inches. You can take the drip tray out, about 7.5. You know, but it always froths the milk hot. There's some other machines that have a separate milk frother that you can froth cold milk and make great tasting iced coffees. So front to back, it's kind of a big machine, 16 ounces, and it's also kind of heavy. Now with that lid all the way open, it's about 17.5 inches. It will fit under kitchen cabinets, but you're not going to want to be moving this around. I've found that this is just, it's too heavy to kind of keep moving around. You're going to want to put it in one spot and keep it there. Now on the bottom it does say it's 120 volts, 1,500 watts. And so we can take this milk frother once in a while. You do have to take these apart once in a while. They do get, you know, you can only run milk through them for so long, but then we do have to take this completely apart. First thing you'll do is move this knob to remove, and then this comes out. Rotate this, this comes out. The tube comes out. Rotate this to the unlock position, this comes out. Now you'll take this to the sink, that way you can clean all these parts. Get a little brush, once in a while you'd have to clean this with a little brush. Same with this, get this all nice and clean. You can run this all underwater, get this all wet and nice and clean. Okay, let's put it back together. We're gonna start back here. Rotate that from lock to unlock. Put this back in, rotate this on, and then put the knob. The last thing you should do is the knob. Start in the remove and then rotate it to the milk. So with this machine, it's in control of pretty much everything. I mean, you can add a little bit more froth at the end, but it's in control of how much it's going to froth, how much coffee it's going to run through the pod. I do like some of the others where it's separate. You don't get as much milk in those other frothers, but everything's kind of separate and you know exactly what you're doing. But this is a really nice machine, and for somebody that knows exactly what they want, it might take you a little bit to kind of get it set up exactly, you know, figuring out what pod you want on a cappuccino or latte might take you a little bit, but I think once you get it dialed in, you're going to really like it because it'll be very, very consistent each time. Underneath the video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that really does help out my YouTube channel. Also, be sure and check out my Just a Dad Videos group page on Facebook. This is where I do my free giveaways. So I'll review these coffee makers and then I do give them away. I'm also branding my own coffee. I got my coffee bag here, Just a Dad Simple Sip. We're working on bag design right now, but we're going to be having whole bean and K-cups. I'll put links to everything you saw in the show description notes. These are DeLonghi glasses. These are really nice. These are kind of some bigger double wall. They're not DeLonghi or anything, but they're just double wall big coffee mugs. I got my syrup dispenser. Just started using this dispenser for milk. That was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, it does connect to your smartphone. I've connected these Nespresso machines to my smartphone. It really doesn't serve you. It's meant to serve the company. Like they want you to order through there. You know, it doesn't really tell you what's going on with the machine. I mean, I just haven't found it to be very useful. You got to have an account, give it your username, password, and all that. So I typically don't connect these to my smartphone. You can do everything you want here. They do have some how-to manuals and stuff and videos on that app, which might make it a little easier. So when you first get it, mine didn't come with a hard water tester, but you're supposed to see how hard your water is, and then you're supposed to hold that milk button for 3 seconds, and then you can set how hard your water is. I could not get that to work really well. I was really struggling with that. But then it tells you, so that stick, according to how hard your water is, that's what lights should be on so that it corresponds with how hard your water is. I think that's just to determine when it's time to descale it. So again, I really appreciate everybody's support. Again, if you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.